Time now for our Ask the Lawyer segment, and here with some legal advice is attorney Tara Knight. Thank you for being here again,
Thank you
Tara.
for having
Good to
me.
see you.
Same here.
Summertime, of course, we all know it's a busy time for people to be outdoors, enjoying parks and amusement parks. But what happens if you or your family member were to be hurt at one of those locations?
Well, there are certain recreational activities that we all engage in that we assume the risk. That means when we go to a venue such as a baseball field or a hockey arena, we assume the risk that maybe a fly ball might hit us. Just because someone's injured in one of these arenas doesn't necessarily mean you can recover damages. That is sue. If you rent a bike and fall down, you can't necessarily sue the person who rented you the bike. Or if you rent a kayak and you get stranded, you can't necessarily sue the kayak purveyor because
usually you sign your life away. When you rent a kayak, they give you that paper and says, you know, if you do get hurt, you won't sue us, right? But let's take a look, because over the weekend, a 10-year-old boy, it's so tragic, was killed in Kansas. He was on a water slide. It was the world's tallest water slide in Kansas. So when you buy a ticket and you enter a park like that, is your ticket basically that type of waiver? It's a form that you're kind of signing. You won't sue the park if you were to get hurt?
No, it's a nice try on their part, but absolutely not. You do not disclaim or waive your rights in that regard. And water parks are a lot different than baseball fields or hockey arenas. That is an inherently dangerous activity, especially the slide this little boy was on. And the park owes a duty to its customers to keep them safe. They have to supervise the customers. They have to train their employees. They have to make sure the product itself, the water slide itself, is safe and not defective. So we don't know all of the details of exactly how this boy died yet, but his parents and family definitely have a cause of action despite what the ticket said.
And it's so heartbreaking what happened there. During the summer, kids love to be outside. They love to be at playgrounds, especially those splash pads, or just to be climbing or on swing sets. What about that when you're just at a public park and your child, let's say they fall off the swing and break their arm, or they slip at a splash pad and break an ankle or something? Well,
the law affords certain protections that are a little bit extra to municipalities so that they don't become targets of lawsuits. So it gets very complicated in this regard. But the question really is there a danger that's so obvious that it should be foreseeable that someone may get hurt if they engage in a certain activity?
Okay, so if it's just a swing, a typical thing,
right. It's not going to fly.
There.
No.
What about if you're hosting a party? Let's say you have a pool in your backyard, or you rent one of those big bounce houses.
Right.
And one of the children attending your child's party falls and gets hurt. It's in your backyard. Are you liable for that child's injury?
You do owe a certain duty of care to your guests. However, Connecticut doesn't put liability. We don't have what's called social hosting negligence. However, it's always a good idea to have homeowners insurance, because there might be an instance, for instance, where the bouncy house itself is defective, and you could get drawn into a lawsuit. Even if you're not per se liable, you'd at least have coverage in that respect and an attorney to represent you.
Okay, well, let's hope everyone stays safe this summer, as always, and avoids those injuries altogether. Thank you for your insight tonight, Tara. It's good to see you.
Thank you.